Welcome to the Instagram stories for Tuesday, December 12th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. We are going to get into Adam Mosseri's Ask Me Anything, but before we do, there's some important pieces of Instagram news that we have to talk about. All of it relates to Threads. Here's the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talking about two big things in the Threads world.
This week, I want to talk about search and tags on Threads. Last week, we launched search worldwide. We had been testing it for a number of weeks already in countries that spoke both English and Spanish. And we're excited to bring it to the rest of the world so that anyone can use search to help find a thread to then participate in. The second thing I want to talk about real quick is tags. Now, this is the ability to tag a topic in a post. And it's like a hashtag on Instagram, but on Threads, you can only have one per post. You can actually have a phrase, not just a word, so they can have a space in it. And you can even have special characters. And if you share on Threads, it's a great way to help connect with people who are interested in the topics that you're talking about. And for everyone, it's a great way to help dive deeper into your interests. Now, these are just two steps on a much longer path to build a space that really fosters healthy conversation. So let us know what you think down below. Let me know what else you'd like us to see us build in the new year. And I'll see you all next week. Peace.
I'm going to say I like this changed approach to hashtags. Being able to only have one hashtag and not limiting it to being just all a grouping of letters, it could have spaces in it, is a really interesting way to expand the concept of hashtags. Good on you, Instagram, innovating something new for the Threads app. I like it. Okay, let's dive into the Ask Me Anything questions. The first one, how should creators think about changing their social strategy over time? I like this question a lot. I think there's a lot of pressure to expand. If you do one platform, people say, oh, why don't you do this other platform? You have to do what makes the most sense for your time and energy and financial rewards. Because if you're doing a lot of effort into social, but it's not generating income for you, that may or may not be the best use of your time. Here's Adam's answer to that question.
The key thing, whether you're looking at how you use Instagram over time or at any one moment, is to make sure you're intentional about what you want to get out of the platform and to shape what you do on Instagram to align with that. But also, obviously, something that helps or works on the platform. If you're trying to sell something, that's different than if you're trying to advocate for a cause. That's different than you're trying to build a reputation. It's different than you're trying to express yourself. So make sure you're really clear with yourself about what you're trying to achieve and then evaluate your options through that lens.
Next question. My friend got hacked out of their account. What can they do? If you didn't know, go to instagram.com/hacked. To prevent this whole scenario, turn on two-factor authentication. Yes, it's a pain when you log into Instagram. You have to go to your text messages and get that code, but it's worth it because you won't get locked out of your account.
There's lots of ways you can get hacked, but please go to instagram.com/hacked and follow the instructions there to try to get your account back. And make sure that you turn on two-factor. I haven't reminded you in a while, but turn on two-factor authentication. Ideally, don't use SMS because you can get SIM hacked. Use an authenticator app. Don't use the same password you use for everything else. I see you. And don't have an obvious password like password.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all those things will help.
Southwest Airlines.
Good luck.
Next question. How do you figure out who are fake accounts? I don't think Instagram does this, to be honest with you. I've reported accounts that I've gotten spam messages from. They're clearly fake accounts, and Instagram does nothing. I don't think they care about this issue at all.
Lots of ways. Can't go into all the details because then the bad actors try to work around it, but we generally look at patterns of behavior. If you post every 10 seconds, 24 hours a day and never seem to sleep, you're probably a bot. If you post a lot from the same IP address, you're probably a bot. Where am I going? This way. Things like that. Behavioral patterns, but it's adversarial. As we get better at identifying bots, those who run the bots get better at evading our tactics, and it's a race that never ends.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Instagram's goals for 2024 and what to do if your reach is down. So stick around.
This podcast is brought to you by AT&T Fiber with All-Fi. Whether you're into watching horror movies from your basement, watching sports from your backyard, or watching trashy reality shows from inside your car that's parked all the way in the driveway so no one in your family judges you, AT&T Fiber with All-Fi is the best way to watch whatever you want from wherever you are.
Get AT&T Fiber with All-Fi and add some Wi-Fi square footage to your house. Limited availability in select areas. Go to att.com/hypergig to check eligibility. Coverage requires extenders at additional charge.
And we're back. Let's jump into the next question. Did your team accomplish their goals for 2023? Here's Adam's answer.
We hit about half of our goals, maybe a little bit more, but we actually try to set goals that we have maybe a 50-50 shot of hitting as a way of trying to make sure that we're aiming high. We even set some goals that we only have maybe like a 10% chance of hitting. So we hit a little bit above half, so I'm overall happy, but there's a lot more work to do.
That's the thing. They always set the goals so high so you can't reach them, and then everyone feels worse about themselves. The next question, what do you want your team to focus on next year that they didn't focus on this year? I'm going to give my answer first, and then I'm going to let Adam give his answer. I think there are a lot of platforms where you can build an audience in 2024 if you want to. However, I do not see any significant advantages to doing it on one platform over another. Why would I want to do it on Instagram when TikTok exists? Why would I want to do it on TikTok or Instagram when YouTube exists? All of these platforms are slightly different, but the same core concept. So you can either do the same work over and over, you can find a way to repurpose whatever content you make for every single social platform out there, or you can give me a compelling reason to only focus on one app or service. And I would very much like to see Instagram double down on telling everyone why they should focus on posting on Instagram and nowhere else. But here's the thing. If they don't know the answer to that question, I certainly don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, there's so much we need to do. On Instagram, I definitely want to see us do more interesting creative formats, particularly on video, find more ways to make video social. We don't want to just be a lean-back experience, but a participatory one. There's a lot of things we can do to improve messaging, particularly group messaging, performance. Threads, there's tons to do, lots of basics and more. We'll see how it goes, but we want to build on this foundation that we set this year, launching the U, the Fediverse will work out, such a build, and innovate on top of this nice base we've got going.
Wow, the audio on that clip was terrible. And the last question we're going to talk about today, why is my reach going down? The main answer to that is there are so many platforms for people to spend time on and so many parts of Instagram for people to spend time on. A lot of time is spent in the DMs, and so therefore it's less time on feed. Here's Adam's answer.
It's rough when your engagement goes down. I've experienced it. One, also follow can go down. People do unfollow people. The key thing is that it looks like, as best we can tell, people are less interested in your content than they used to be. If you want to figure out what's working, what's not, my advice is to take a look at your engagement rates. So of the people who saw something, how many of them sent it to a friend or liked it? That should help guide your strategy.
Okay, that is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more social media news, strategy, or other things you need to know about.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave, without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.